Hey folks, welcome to Shooting Up North. I'm your host, Lewis Carlin. We're right here on the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're watching for the first time, please consider hitting that subscribe button. If you want to follow me on social media, I'm on Twitter at Shooting Up North, Instagram at Alliance PW Network, and feel free to join our Facebook group, the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. And don't forget, the official Shooting Up North Hot and Cold Tumbler is now available. Send me an email if you want to get your hands on this absolutely beautiful hot and cold tumbler, 30-ounce stainless steel hot and cold tumbler, official Shooting Up North tumbler. Email is alliancepwnetwork at gmail.com, alliancepwnetwork at gmail.com. Shoot me that email and I'll send you all the details on how you can get your hands on one of these as well. And don't forget, the official Shooting Up North t-shirt is also available. You're on our YouTube page right now. Look to the top. You'll see the Shooting Up North banner. Bottom right-hand corner, you'll see Shooting Up North merchandise. Click on that link. It'll take you to the store where you can order a Shooting Up North t-shirt as well. Okay, so this is Impact Wrestling news and notes and opinions for August 5th. 2022. So let's get into it. Have a couple of venue changes for upcoming events, Impact Wrestling upcoming events. Fightful Select actually has why Impact Wrestling changed Bound for Glory cities. I was wondering about that. So, as per Fightful, Impact Wrestling Bound for Glory is running in Albany, New York now, not Danbury, Connecticut. I did a podcast recently indicating that it was going to be in Danbury, but it always wasn't supposed to be that way. Weeks ago, Fightful reported that Danbury, Connecticut was the landing spot for Impact Bound for Glory 2022 on October 8th. However, the company announced Albany, New York for October 2nd, 7th this week. The show is just 2 hours up the road, and we've learned why the change took place. And here is why the change took place. WWE's Extreme Rules pay-per-view is taking place on October 8th. And the company obviously didn't want to go directly against the WWE show. Instead, the pay-per-view was moved to Friday for the first time in the event's history, which makes absolute perfect sense. However, the venue wasn't available in Danbury for the night's Impact needed, so they opted to run Albany instead. Talent had been informed months ago that the original plans were in Danbury. Impact hasn't run an event in Albany since 2012. So Impact Wrestling will be running in Albany, Bound for Glory, October 7th, Albany, New York. Bound for Glory, again, not wanting to compete with WWE's Extreme Rules on October 8th, which again makes perfect sense. So they will be in Albany, New York on October 7th. In addition, we had another venue and city change for Impact and a pay-per-view returning. Again, Fightful. Impact was making a pretty quick turnaround to head back to Philadelphia, but that isn't happening anymore after taping several weeks of television in the Philadelphia area. Back in March, Fightful has learned that the first pay-per-view special event since 2011 from Impact was to take place on September 23rd in the form of Victory Road. In addition, there are planned television tapings for the following day. However, that was changed to Nashville for reasons we haven't learned as of yet. Actually, I think there is a new update on that. Let me just pull this up here. Okay, so this is direct from Impact Wrestling. This is Okay, the decision was made by the 2300 Arena to have limited major events past the end of August. Impact Wrestling, because of that, Impact Wrestling will be headed back to Skyway Studios in Nashville on September 23rd and 24th. So 2300 Arena made a decision to have limited major events past the end of August, which is why Impact Wrestling is headed back to Nashville. There's a whole release here from from Impact Wrestling, but I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's very, very long. But Victory Road, instead of Philadelphia, they will be in Nashville, Tennessee, September 23rd and 24th. Again, due to the decision made by the 2300 Arena, formerly the ECW Arena in Philadelphia, that they are to have limited major events past the end of August. So that's that for the venue change. And three matches have been added to Impact Emergence. X Division title match is one of the new three bouts set for Friday, August 12th show next Friday. So added to Emergence. Now this is a little. This is a little weird. I was speaking to BQ about this a little earlier. So Mike Bailey, Rocky Romero title versus Mike Bailey defending the X Division Championship against Rocky Romero next Thursday, I believe. Would have to be next Thursday, and so the winner of that match goes on to face Jack Evans. This is where I have a little issue, and BQ agreed with me on this one. BQ of the Impact Lounge. Check out the Impact Lounge. It's on YouTube. Fantastic, fantastic Impact Wrestling channel. Probably the best out there right now. But me and BQ were talking, and it should have been Jack Evans versus Rocky Romero, and the winner goes on to face Mike Bailey. Not Mike Bailey versus Rocky Romero, and the winner goes on to face Jack Evans. Now, granted, the match, Mike Bailey, Rocky Romero match was probably taped and recorded and edited and put into a next week's show before they were able to lock down Jack Evans. So that's understandable, but still, what has Jack Evans done to earn an X Division title shot? He really hasn't done anything. He was supposed to be involved in a fatal four-way match recently on a past show, but unfortunately he got injured. He was concussed the night before. He wasn't able to compete. So what has he done? He hasn't defeated anybody. He hasn't been in Impact Wrestling for quite some time. He hasn't beat anybody in Impact Wrestling. So what has he done? What has he done to deserve to face the winner of Mike Bailey and Rocky Romero? So it is, don't get me wrong. It's good to see a fresh face. It's good to see a fresh face, but I'm old school, and I feel you need to earn the title shot. This is not Impact Wrestling is not supposed to be an indie promotion where they find a top guy in the indie scene and they bring him in and he instantly gets a shot at the title, which is what a lot of the indie promotions do. It's Impact Wrestling. It's not an indie promotion, but they're doing the indie thing here. They could have done Jack Evans taking on Rocky Romero at Emergence, and the winner goes on to face Mike Bailey later on in the evening. They could have done that. Then okay, then he would have earned a shot. Or Jack Evans will be taking on Trey Miguel at Emergence, and the winner goes on to face Mike Bell. Something like that. Something he would need to earn it. But I'm not calling shots. I can only voice my opinion. But it should be a great match nonetheless. I just feel Jack Evans shouldn't be waiting around to see who he's going to be facing between Mike Bailey and Rocky Romero. Spoiler alert: I know who wins, and I think you know who wins too. So just say there's going to be an X Division Championship match at Emergence, and and Rocky Romero is not going to be involved in it. Okay, so here's the updated card. Here's the updated card for Emergence. So we have Joe Doring and Diener versus Chris Sabin and Kushida. Great match there. Would have loved to see the Time Splitters reunite to face Joe Doring and Diener. But as we know, Alex Shelley will be taking on Josh Alexander. So we got Chris Sabin and Kushida versus Joe Doring and Diener. Should be a very good match. Sami Callihan versus Steve Macklin. That match was added. That's going to be an absolutely fantastic match. Bandito 1-on-1 with Ray Horace in a AAA spotlight match. showcase match. I'm sorry, showcase match. We have the Bullet Club, Ace Austin, Chris Bay, Hikuleo, Doc Gallows, and Carl Anderson versus Honor No More, Eddie Edwards, Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, PCO, and Vincent. If Bullet Club wins, Honor No More must disband, which I don't think they're going to do. If Honor No More wins, they earn a tag team title shot, which I think is what's is going to happen. But I'm not doing any preview or predictions right now. I will do a preview and prediction show next week. And then we have the Impact Wrestling World Tag Team Championship, Taya Valkyrie and Rosemary versus Chelsea Green and Deonna Purrazzo. Then we have the X Division Championship. They put here Mike Bailey or Rocky Romero versus Jack Evans, but I think we all know who is going to go on to face Jack Evans, as I mentioned earlier. I don't really think it's much of a spoiler. But it's going to be an exhibition championship match that's not going to involve Rocky Romero. But again, I think Jack Evans should have earned the title shots, not just come in and automatically get an exhibition title shot. The Impact Wrestling Knockouts World Championship, Jordan Grace against Mia Yim. And then, of course, as I mentioned, Josh Alexander defending the Impact Wrestling World title against Alex Shelley. So that's next Friday, 8 p.m. That's going to be a fantastic show, and I'm sure more matches will be added. I can expect one or two more matches to be added to this event, but I'm really looking forward to it next week. And Road Dogg, speaking of Emergence, Road Dogg, Jesse James says he's going to be sitting in with the Impact Wrestling crew during Emergence. But on the flip side of that, he says that he can really help. He believes he can really help AEW. That's the headline of a Fightful article. So it says Road Dogg is excited to be back in the saddle for Impact in Chicago and generally thinks he can help make the All Elite product better. That's the first sentence in this article. It says Road Dogg is excited to be back in the saddle for Impact in Chicago and genuinely thinks he can help make All Elite Wrestling product better. How about he genuinely thinks he can make Impact Wrestling's product better? Why? Yeah, I'm whatever. I'm not gonna. It's like, hey, he's gonna be with Impact Wrestling in Chicago, but deep down inside, he wants to be with AEW, which I think he does. Yeah, I think there was a few articles out saying that he was begging Tony Khan for a job. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But he's really, he wants to get into the AEW. But let's. Here's a few things that he said. It was an interview. On the latest episode of his podcast, Oh, You Didn't Know, he said, I'm looking forward to going to Chicago in a couple of weeks and just sitting in with the Impact crew as they do their pay-per-view and their television taping. Then the next week, I think I'm in Chicago, the Top Guy weekend for ad-free. So looking forward to some upcoming events and excited about doing it. Man, excited about hopefully getting back in the saddle. And he also indicates that he feels he could really help AEW. Speaking about, it says, speaking about his comments on begging Tony for a job, James revealed that he truly believes he can make the AEW product better, but he's also happy being able to pay his light bill with a podcast. Okay, great. But that's just it. See, here's the small issue that I would have with this, right? Impact Wrestling is giving him an opportunity to come in an Emergence and sit in and I'm sure offer some advice. So they're giving him the opportunity, but he's specifically saying that he feels he could go to AEW and help that product. How about saying, I really appreciate Impact Wrestling giving me this opportunity. He says he's excited, which is okay, but how about Impact Wrestling is giving me this opportunity and I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to do whatever I can to help make Impact Wrestling a better product. How about that? How about that statement? How about saying something along those lines? I think that would be a little better, huh? How Road Dogg? I think I was reading an article today. I think he was teasing a match. Don't quote me. I didn't read the article. I just saw the headline. But like he's teasing a match with him and why am I forgetting the dude's name? His tag team partner, Mr. Ass. Why am I forgetting his name for? That's ridiculous. How can I forget his name? Hold on a second. I'm not going to let this go. See, when you get to my age, you forget you forget things. Road Dog Jesse James. Oh yeah, Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn. Okay, I just the Road Dog Jesse James and B.A. Billy Gunn. That's how I remembered it. But he was teasing a match between with him and Billy Gunn against FTR. Again, granted, I didn't read the whole article. I didn't read the article at all. I just saw a headline. So it seems that's what he's teasing, and hopefully that never comes to fruition because they're past that prime, unless Billy Gunn and Jesse James or Road Dog Jesse James have their own last match type of thing. But anyway, but still, I mean, Impact Wrestling is giving him the opportunity, and he should be saying, I'm looking forward to doing what I can to help Impact Wrestling. I don't think he says that here at all. Um, I'm just gonna go through so banged up. No, he says I'm just sitting in. Yeah, he says just sitting in with Impact Wrestling. He says he's not, like I said, he's not just sitting. I'm sure he's going to be giving advice and everything, sitting with the Impact crew as they do Emergence in the television taping. He's saying, I'm excited for this opportunity that Impact Wrestling has given me. I'm excited for it, and hopefully I could work with Impact Wrestling more. But it was like, yeah, I'm working with Impact Wrestling, but hey, psst, Tony. I know I could help AEW become a better product. Hire me, please. So that's how I look at it. But anyway, we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. And last but not least, let me just look at see if any new Impact Wrestling, anything new from Impact Wrestling came in. Any more updates before I go into one other thing. Um, Let me just check. I'm sorry. Maybe maybe I'm gonna get like a new update that I haven't seen, and I could talk about it here. The oh, AAW signed a streaming deal. Let's see who they signed a streaming deal with. Oh, High Spots TV. So AAW has signed a streaming deal with High Spots TV. Speaking of AEW, AAW. I'm sorry. I said AEW, AAW, AA. I hope I didn't say AEW signed a streaming deal. It was Chicago's independent promotion. AAW signs a streaming deal with High Spots, not AEW, AAW. Just clarifying that. But speaking of AAW, Impact Wrestling, Eric Young was on. They actually AAW released a, YouTube video, and I talked about it on a podcast recently, where there's gonna Eric Young is picking two wrestlers from AAW to have Impact Wrestling tryout matches on August 12th or 13th in Chicago. AAW is situated in Chicago, so Matt Fitchett is going to be one of them. Matt Fitchett is the AAW heavyweight champion, and they haven't decided on who the second AAW star is going to be. So back to that in a moment. But Impact Wrestling, I think, might be in a little bit of trouble. Don't worry, I brought up the AAW thing for a reason. I'm going to get back to it in a second, but I'm going to switch gears a little bit. Impact Wrestling's in a little bit of trouble right now in terms of signing new talent. Okay, because Blake Christian, who I thought Impact Wrestling should have pulled out all the stops to sign Blake Christian to bring him into Impact Wrestling. Blake Christian signs a deal with AEW and Ring of Honor. AEW Ring of Honor. He's going to be working under the Ring of Honor umbrella. Now, again, I don't know if it's a full-time deal or whatever, but nonetheless, he's going to be working under the Ring of Honor umbrella. Ring of Honor is going to be looking to sign a lot of fresh new faces, a lot of fresh new talent. So and on the flip side of that, AEW is going to be looking to be bringing in big names as well, and looking to their Ring of Honor roster to develop new stars that they can bring to the AEW roster. So that's the plan for them. So by all means, it sounds good. New Japan Pro Wrestling. New Japan Pro Wrestling is a major player right now. They're looking to bring in some new stars. They're looking into bringing in indie talent, and we've seen Kevin Blackwood. We've seen a number of other indie stars competing for New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong. MLW, Court Bauer, great at scouting, great at finding undiscovered talent. They're going to be looking for talent. NWA, I'm sure, is going to be looking for talent. Now with Triple H taking over creative. NXT is going to be probably looking on the indie scene again to be bringing in some more stars. So Impact Wrestling has their work cut out for them. Impact Wrestling could be in a lot of trouble in terms of bringing in new talent. And yes, we just had Killer Kelly just signed with Impact Wrestling, which was great. Or returned to Impact Wrestling, signed a new deal, which is a great signing. But with Ring of Honor, with NXT, with MLW, with New Japan Pro Wrestling being a major player right now, Impact Wrestling needs to step it up. Impact Wrestling needs to step it up, and they can't do the bullcrap stuff like we're going to do a gut check. We're having a gut check tournament, and whoever wins gets a contract with Impact Wrestling. Okay, because you have Jackson Stone, Jason Hotch, and Jack Price. They all won contracts. First, we've seen Jackson Stone, who I think's a great talent, who has a lot of fantastic potential. We've seen him maybe 3 or 4 times in Impact Wrestling. We saw him twice on an Explosion when Explosion was still a show, and I think we saw him once during that bullcrap IPWF comedy garbage, which I'm not a fan of, and we saw him on that. We haven't really seen him since in Impact Wrestling. Jason Hodge, Jack Price. Do you remember those guys? The Arnold Schwarzenegger, competition or the festival, or whatever, and they had a gut check competition, and they handed out 2 contracts, developmental contracts. Jason Hodge, I believe his name was Jason Hodge, and Jack Price won that competition. Are they developing these guys? Are these guys developing? Are they somewhere? Or did Impact Wrestling send them somewhere to develop them? We haven't heard anything about these guys. We haven't seen any. I think there was they might have been on. I think Jason Hodge might have been on the last taping, and he might have a BTI match coming up. I'm not certain, but like Jack Price, Jack Price and Jackson Stone, and again Jason Hodge. Is it going to be the one and done for Jason Hodge? Are we going to see him one? How come we didn't get like a video package put together for these guys to showcase these guys so Impact Wrestling fans can see, hey, this is the future. This is what's coming. But they didn't do that. They don't even talk about these guys. And when other independent wrestlers see this, when other indie stars see this, when they're looking to get their foot in the door to a major promotion, and the next gut check competition comes around, and like for example, I'm not gonna use it, but say I was a top indie star, say Lewis Carlin just read that the next gut check tournament is going to be taking place on September 4th in Nashville, Tennessee. Nashville, Tennessee. And the winner gets a developmental contract with Impact Wrestling. I'm going to look at that. I'm going to say, okay, that's interesting, but look what happened to Jackson Stone. I mean, he won, I think, back in 2019, actually. 2019, 2020. Look at Jason Hodge. Look at Jack Price. They also won developmental contracts. You don't really hear about these guys. Where are they? Are they developing them somewhere? Are they up in Canada at the Border City Wrestling School, running drills, doing what are they doing? Are they what's going on with these? I would look at that and say, I'd enter the competition, but I'm just afraid if I win, it's just gonna amount to nothing. And that's how a lot of the independent wrestlers are going to look at the gut check tournament. So that's why if you're going to do the gut check tournament, which is a great idea in terms of looking for new talent, don't just do it and then just forget about it. No, yeah, all right, yeah. Jason Hodge, Jack Price, congratulations, good luck with your career. Bye. Don't just do it like this. Bring them in. Do a highlight reel, showcase them, say, coming soon. Jason Hodge, Jack Price, Jackson Stone, coming soon to Impact Wrestling. I mean, because at this point, I mean, I don't think we're going to see Jackson Stone in Impact Wrestling. I think he would have had his opportunity already. I think it's a travesty. I think it's a travesty that we haven't seen Jackson Stone. I think it's a travesty that Jason Hotch and Jack, and if they are being developed somewhere, and I'm wrong, I apologize, but I just don't see where they're being developed. I mean, I look on their Twitter feed, and they don't talk about, well, got my developmental training today. Well, let's pull up one of them right now. Maybe I don't look every day, but every time I do look. I don't. Let me pull up Jason Hodge. Jason Hodge. I don't want to. Let me see. Does he talk about? Okay, he indicates that he's a 2022 Impact Wrestling gut check winner. Okay, but he promotes Impact and Access Day today. Who's tuning in? Um, okay, so the Impact on July 13th. They said, "Who would you like to see challenge Speedball Mike Bailey for the X Division Championship?" Jason Hodge says, "I mean, I will be backstage this Friday and Saturday." So he's backstage at least. So that's fine, and he's promoting Impact Wrestling, but it doesn't indicate anything about him training or developmental or developing. I don't know, but if you're gonna do the gut check, if you're gonna do the gut check, right? Bring the guys in. You know, let's showcase them on Impact. Put them on BTI. Showcase them on BTI. Isn't that what BTI is all about? You know, showcase the new talent on BTI. And we've seen a few new faces on BTI, but these are the gut check winners, right? Let's get them on BTI. Let's bring back Explosion and make it a new talent show. I've always been for that, right? And now back to AAW. You know, I brought it up earlier. Back to AAW. They have the tryout match. Is this tryout match going to amount to anything? You know, Matt Fitchett defends the AAW heavyweight championship against another AAW talent on Impact Wrestling TV. Is it's going to be a tryout match? Is it going to amount to anything? Are we going to whoever wins that match? Are they going to get a developmental contract and we just don't hear from them again, or are they going to be brought in and they're going to showcase them on Impact Wrestling on BTI and showcase them as the next big star or the next potentially big star of Impact Wrestling, because that's what Impact Wrestling needs to do. They need to bring in a bunch of guys, a bunch of young talent. They need to go out, bring in Alec Price, bring Titus Alexander, bring in Junior Benito, bring in Mariah May, Alexia Nicole, just to name a few. Bring them in, you know, and sign them to 2 3 year contracts and let them develop in Impact Wrestling and let them become the next stars of Impact Wrestling. That's what the Impact Wrestling needs to do. It's going to be tougher and tougher and tougher for Impact Wrestling now to sign new faces. So they have to get on the ball. They have to get their scouting going. They need to improve their scouting. They should hire. Maybe they do have a scout, but they need to get on the ball and whoever their scout is, or if they need to hire more scouts to go out to these independent shows and to find the next stars of Impact Wrestling. Because again, with Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling, NXT, MLW, and NWA, um, even GCW possibly, they're always on the lookout for new talent to bring into their promotions. And Impact Wrestling, you know, they can do it, but they have to do it. They can't do this bullcrap gut check stuff where they hand out developmental contracts and then we never hear from these guys again. I mean, Jackson Stone should be a regular right now in Impact Wrestling, in my opinion. He should be a regular right now. I mean, I've watched Jackson Stone, been a fan of his for a long time. Jason Hotch, okay, fine. He's backstage at Impact Wrestling, but what else is he doing? What else is he doing? Where's Jack Price? Where's Jack Price? He's also the gut check winner. Let me pull up Jack Price here. Let me see what Jack Price is doing before we wrap this up. Pull up Jack Price. See, I have Jack Price up here, and he doesn't even indicate that he's a winner of the gut check. So maybe he's. I mean, he is promoting Impact Wrestling. Um, he is retweeting Impact Wrestling stuff. So I'm just checking to see if he mentions if he's going to be what's this here? No. So yeah, so no, so Impact Wrestling needs to do a little better. They need to do a little better in terms of bringing in new talents. And again, this gut check stuff. If you're not gonna, if you just, if you're not gonna bring in the talents that you're handing contracts to, then just might as well just stop doing gut check and just go out and look for fresh new talent to bring in. Because again, sooner or later, it's gonna be I don't want to say sooner or later, but I'm going to say it's just tougher and tougher and tougher and tougher right now, especially with Ring of Honor. Especially with Ring of Honor right now. Tony Khan's going to want to bring in a lot of young talent and develop them and hopefully get them to become the next stars of AEW. Impact Wrestling needs to get on the ball, and they need to do that as well. But they can't wait. They have to start right now before it's too late. Okay, that's it for me. I'm Lewis Carlin. Anything breaks, I'll be back. But until then, thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye. Stay safe, everyone. So long. Bye bye.